Good evening, everybody. Welcome in. I hope you all can hear me well this evening. I'm hoping that that's all good. And it's nice for you all to join me. There are a lot of people in today. Just before we start, I would like very much to say thank you to anybody watching the replay crew. Remember, if you swipe left and then you can replay the live chat if it's had time to upload and follow on with what everybody else is saying, and don't forget to leave a comment and I will reply to you. It's really important to me that we have an amazing community here and that we not only support each other, but you all get to have your say. And having said that, I'm going to go to the comments. I'm going to start right at the top and say hi to everybody. First in, as always, was Jay Dixon, and a big thank you to Jay for agreeing to be my show facilitator and moderator. Absolutely appreciate you. That is absolutely fabulous. That was Jay in. And also second in today was Rob from Rob's Allotment Garden, or Rob's Allotment. Trude is here this evening. Hi, Trude. We also have Kirsty of Heart's Humble Homestead. Hello, Kirsty. Let's have a look who else is here. I know Debs is in because I saw somebody message her, but hang on, where are we? Sean is in. Sean isn't far from me. He's on the other coast of Cornwall from me. Debs is in. Hi, Debs. Nice to see you here. Who else have we got? Anybody else? I apologize if I miss anyone. Oh, I have. Mel. Hi, Mel. Nice to see you in as well. And the other thing, just up. Pete's in. Hi, Pete. Nice to see you. Pete's up the road. And I think that's everyone mentioned. Excellent. I'm glad you're all here. The thing to note today, it has absolutely, it's just wet. It's horrible. It's just a complete, oh, hang on. Growing with Stella is, yes, jury service, so she's here on time. That's fantastic. Nice to see you in, Stella. Glad you're here. It's been really wet and really disgusting and horrible today. So that's the theme. And in the chat, Sean just said it's absolutely throwing it down where he is at the moment. Lots of flooding, and it is just a bit of a nightmare. Going on for me at the moment, I haven't had any videos out because it's just been impossible to film. I have got a few little clips to show you. Now, I did attempt to film something the other day, and I'm going to show you a little clip, and you can see in the clip it's raining, but I didn't actually get to do any more filming because I'd kind of gone, I'm going to have to film in the rain, but then the wind blew and the rain threw down even more, and I just had to abandon it. But this is what I took a little bit of video of. This is my new chicken coop, and this features in my video that's out tomorrow. So I did do some filming in the rain, but those are my ocelot girls, and they are sitting in their little makeshift egg box there, enjoying their new coop. And you can tell they like it because they queue to get in there. So the dominant hen, you can see, is sitting in there. She gets first dibs because she's obviously in charge. And then there's one there at the bottom of the ramp is third hen, who is waiting for her turn. I'm not sure how long that video is. It's nearly at the end. There we go. You can take that one down. But I'm actually stood in the coop there because there's a tarpaulin over the top, so I wasn't getting too wet. There you go. there. So that was my attempt to make a video. It didn't pay off. I'm just distracted because people are saying hi to Jenny, and there we go, Jenny from the plot here. Hi, and Jenny and Stella had their live last night, which was great. So if you haven't seen that, go and watch that on the replay. That would be great. So that was my attempt at making a video. I did actually go back and have another attempt today. No, Sean saying it's not stopped today. I know I've been out. I've been out in it making a video. I have edited and the video is out tomorrow. It's a bit grey. I did manage to get some filming done between showers. But one of the things I saw, and I wasn't sure whether to show this or not. So where I am in the middle of the countryside, I get some really interesting wildlife. And one of the things I have is a small bird of prey, and I think it's a kestrel. It's really small. It's not much bigger than a pigeon, but it hovers over my land, usually too far away to get a good shot of it. And today it was right up by the gate, and I have zoomed my camera really far, and it is a bit blurry. But this is the best footage I've had of this little bird of prey, and it's obviously spied something. It's darting down. It flew down there. I missed it landing and catching its prey, but it's on the ground there. Now I'm trying to find it. My zoomed in, and off it flies. And I know it caught something because it flew off to its nest. So it's obviously got some food to take back. And it's amazing things like that I see on my farm that make me really appreciate not just that I have the land and the growing space, but I also have this amazing, diverse wildlife. Now, the trouble is with my eyesight, with my glasses off, I can't see. It's too far. With my glasses on, I can't see because they're reading glasses. I have got binoculars, and what I've discovered is I can't see through the binoculars without my glasses, and the glasses get in the way of the binoculars. But I think it's a kestrel. I think that's what it is. It's a little, a little tiny one. Where we used to live, we used to have red kites. So, Jay's put up a link for a kestrel. So that would be interesting to look at. And I've noticed there are a few along the A39. They sit on the top of the telegraph posts. Am I short-sighted? Yes, Stella, I am really. I can't see a lot, either at distance or close by. It seems to be a problem for me lately. I used to have really good vision. I do miss it. Everything looks blurry all the time, I'm afraid. Now, I saw somebody else. I'm sure I saw somebody else pop in. Who did I see? Yes. There we go. Shawnee Grows is listening in from the kitchen. She seems to always be cooking while listening. Nice to see you in. Welcome, Shawnee. So that was the start of my day, which I thought was really thrilling. The other thing I want to talk about a little bit is the self-sufficiency challenge, because I'm not going to have a really long live stream tonight because it's been a bit of a day and I've been to the hospital and different things going on. I've had this video I've taken and edited, so I'm just going to give you a sneak peek of the video that is coming out tomorrow, and I've teed up the little bit. Well, let's just watch it first, and then we can have a chat about my self-sufficiency challenge that's upcoming. Now, my self-sufficiency challenge is starting in about 10 days' time, and I have in here leeks still standing, which will be very useful, and there are some other bits and pieces in the perennial garden that will be helpful, like this garlic cress. Not ready yet, but this is my goji berry, and it is beginning to put leaf on, so spring is around the corner. This is lemon balm, so I'm hoping that I will get some lemon balm tea. If I tidy this up, that new growth should be really nice. And my garlic's coming along nicely too. There we go. And there's a little sneak peek of There's a little sneak peek of the video that's coming out tomorrow. I did have to voice over because it was howling, and I did take my microphone, but all you can hear is rain. You can't hear much of anything I'm saying. I think there's a little bit where I go, oh dear, I'm going to have to voice over. And then there's another little bit where I left the microphone on, so you can hear Kevin and Ava snorting and grunting away. But the reason I put that little bit in the video about the self-sufficiency challenge and what's growing is there really isn't a lot growing at all. All my plans are on hold because I had got a lot of seedlings ready to go in at the beginning of March, in the hope that by the end of March I could at least be getting salads and things. And it's just not going to happen. The ground is so wet that whatever I plant will just rot. So it's going to be a real challenge for me, seeing what I've got available. And I think there's a lot of nettle stew in my in my future. Now I am watching. I keep getting distracted because I keep seeing garlic cress, garlic cress, garlic cress. So let's have a look. What is garlic cress? Well, I showed it really briefly there. I was walking through the thing, and there's only a small shot of it because it got a bit blurry. It was raining. I was fogged up, and I couldn't tell that my camera wasn't very focused. So it's perennial, as you would expect it being in the perennial garden. It has it's almost like a really young kale floret in the spring when it's small. It's not too bitter, but it's got a hint of garlic to it. It does spread menacingly. So either keep it in a pot if you get some, or the other thing you can do is just keep pulling it up for chop and drop. It's prolific grower. I started with a little bit there. I now have it through that entire swale bank. It's spread itself. It goes to seed. And I did see some other questions like, where can you get it? Where can you get the seeds? I've seen seeds for sale on various websites. I can't say specifically, but I had a friend I often talk about. There's a farm on the other side of the road called Braycord. My friends Barney and Vicky own that land, and they gave me a little clump, a little piece last year. And it was the first time I'd ever grown it. And I thought, oh, it's a bit small. And they went, no, it'll be fine. It will spread. And it really does spread, and it really does grow. So, yes, garlic cress, prolific. I would think probably as prolific as good King Henry. That can be really pervasive, maybe would be the right way to put it. Rain, I don't believe you. Pete, you lie. You're well, that it has been chucking it down on and off throughout the day. Garlic cress is a definite curiosity for me as well. So a lot of Pippa Chapman was talking about this earlier today. A lot of the perennial vegetables get knocked because they're either striggy or they've got very textured leaves, very tough, and they can be quite stringy. I found garlic cress to be really nice. I pick it and I stir fry it, but equally when it's really young, I'm quite happy to eat it as it is, like pick it and eat it as I'm walking around the garden, or put it in a salad. So I find it really versatile. I like that. I do a lot of Asian style cooking. Hence I'm trying really hard to grow some ginger and things like the lemon balm, which will replace some of the spices I use, and obviously chilies. But I find it really useful and versatile. And although it's could be considered a curiosity. I find it really useful. I will say later on in the season, it gets more bitter. So it has that edge to it. It's not like eating raw dandelion leaves, but it's got that kind of tang to it, just a little bit. So earlier in the season, it's really useful in that hungry gap when there's not a lot else about. Yeah, it has. It's got a little garlicky hint to it. I think if there's anything else, any different questions you have about garlic cress, anything I haven't covered. And Jenny is coming to visit me. And Jenny, you can take some home with you if you want some, because it, as I say, it spreads. I've got lots of it. I didn't say hello, Jason. Thank you. Thank you for watching. It's nice to see you here. Scroll through the chat. Nettle stew. No, I enjoyed nettle tea yesterday, but I can't imagine it in stew. So the thing with nettles, and I ate a lot of these when I was a child, whenever we ran out of vegetables because we'd been naughty and not weeded, and the vegetable garden had just become a nettle patch, we ate the nettles. What I will say is, if you melt a tiny bit of butter in a pan, throw the nettles in really quickly so they wilt a tiny bit. It's enough to take the sting out, and it resembles a spinach, has a more cabbagey flavour, I find. Don't use old nettles, they're stringy and disgusting, but the young nettles I really like. And the other thing we used to do is to ferment them, pickle them. Weird, but I don't know why. We used to pickle them, ferment them. Don't know how we discovered that. I think as kids we were just experimenting. Thought, oh, you can make a mint sauce. I wonder if you can make a nettle sauce, and you can. It's quite nice. There we go. More information. Garlic cress, evergreen perennial herb in the mustard family. Yes, it is still there. I am waiting for the fresh new leaves. The leaves are on there, are a tiny bit purple at the moment, which means they're quite old. They will be a little bit bitter. Just scrolling through, catching up. That spread menacingly. Nope. But if you use it to chop and drop, I wonder if it could deter pests. It smells. I haven't noticed it smell of garlic, but I am a really heavy garlic eater and user, and so I wouldn't necessarily notice if it. And Jason's very helpfully there let us know that Chiltern Seeds sells garlic cress. I'm on the hunt for some Taunton Dean kale. That's what I'm looking for. Sean the Guardian. I saw more dailies and another little tonight. You're not going to get them any cheaper than at Lidl, Sean. Yeah, Lidl. I've grown the seeds. They do the Unwin's dwarf mix there. I've grown those before. Wild garlic tastes better, I think. Ransoms. No, I had some of these I bought from my old garden. I just shook some of the seed heads out onto a garden tray before I left, and they were doing really well. But I think the pheasants have dug them up and eaten them. So I will have to get some more seed and start again, I think. Hi, Steve. Nice to see you here. Nice of you to come in. We've just been talking about garlic cress and the upcoming very hungry gap I'm going to have. I can say is thank goodness for chickens and eggs and a freezer full of meat. Oh, no. There we go. Nettle and potato soup is lovely. Yes, I won't have any potatoes until the ones I planted a week ago decide to grow. They're in at the plot, and I don't know how well they'll do. It's an experiment. I just put 7, I think they were Swift, 7 Swift potatoes in a little raised bed, and then covered them thickly with straw, and I'm hoping that by mid-May I might have some potatoes. But if not, maybe, leek and nettle soup. I might try stir-fried nettles. Do it. I've never put them in a stir fry per se, but I have just a little bit of butter in the pan, thrown them in really quickly, wilt them enough that they don't sting, and they're quite spinach-like. Um, do nettles have any health benefits? Stella, I think you probably know the answer to that. Yes. So, because nettles have so many histamines in them, it can help with allergies like hay fever and things like that. Reduce allergies. I'm sure there are lots of other, and of course, the greens are full of vitamins and all the good things that green vegetables are high in. And I can't remember. I think it's one of those that's high in iron, but don't quote me on that. I knew someone who thought you could eat nettles raw. He could hardly speak for 2 days. That would have been sore. That would have been very sore. Yeah. Lots of vitamin C, etc. Some perpetual kale. Can't remember if it's Taunton Dean. It may well be. I don't know. There are a few types. There's Bentons or something like that as well. There are. Everybody seems to be dahlia obsessed this year. Usually, I'm the only person that's going on about dahlias, and everybody's like, "Oh no, they're such a fuss. You have to dig them up, you have to mollycoddle them, and then you have to plant them and take cuttings." And I can't be bothered with them. And everybody this year, that's the one. I never know how to say that. Dabentons. Oh, Mel, I will message you. Thank you. I really would like a cutting, particularly the Taunton Dean. What's happened there? Thank you. That was pheasant. Yes. I have so many pheasants on my farm at the moment. So I'm on one side of the valley, coming down. The valley on this side has a farm that has regular shoots. So they raise pheasants there, thousands of pheasants. And then they send beaters through the wood, which is just people going and stirring the pheasants so they fly up, so that they make easy targets for rich people to shoot, apparently. And when this happens, the lucky ones all escape to my farm. And it's lovely, because pheasants are beautiful, to have a few pheasants. But some days I turn up and there are hundreds. And they literally won't leave the farm until they are really starving hungry, because they've eaten everything on my farm. And they're obviously frightened to go back because of the shooting and whatever. But I can't live with hundreds of pheasants on my farm. I do have one that never leaves my farm. And that's Gerald, who has featured in a few videos and some shorts, and he just hangs out, and he doesn't eat any of my vegetables. He's incredibly well behaved, but he does demand to be fed pig food. I've given him corn and different grains and chicken feed, and he turns his nose up and leaves it. He really enjoys pig food, nothing else, just pig food. So Gerald is a resident pheasant, but the others can get naughtied as far as I'm concerned. There are too many of them. Incredible vegetables in Devon sells Taunton Dean perennial kale. and some others too. The selection gets better once we get properly into spring. Oh, okay, that's good to know. Thank you. What I've found is it's either out of stock or it's I can't verify it's a good source. It's something like Facebook Marketplace, and there's probably nothing wrong with it. But when they're asking something like £10 for a cutting, I want to know I'm getting what I'm paying for. We got there. Did not buy any tonight. I won't have a room, I don't think anyway. I'm still talking about the dahlias, I think. Dahlia tubers. Yeah. Nettle tea is extremely good for you. So definitely, even if you aren't willing to try the sauteed leaves, do try a tea. Let's have a look what else is going on, chat. Stick with spinach thing. Yep, that's okay. I mean, traditionally, I've only eaten it when all else has failed. I just feel like that might be what happens this year, guys. It might be that this year I'm relying on a heavy protein and nettle diet. Who knows? Right, I've missed something, I think. Urtica is an ingredient in soups, omelettes, and puree, and other dishes. A soup ash is made using this plant. I don't. Oh, when did we mention that? Oh, I don't know. I missed something there. I'll have to look back through the chat later. What have we got there? So Stella is saying, I just grow dahlias from seed. They live or die in the garden with me. That makes sense. Yeah, I like growing dahlias from seed. They're much easier than you would think. And also, it's much cheaper and you get a lot more variety. I'm just going to say hi to Farmall and Fords. Nice to see you in. And I'm really jealous because there's always something going on in your farm. You're either fixing something or grinding something or planting something or harvesting something. You seem to have a much more all year round season than I do. Do I eat pheasants? I have tried once. And I will say this, I do not like pheasant. I don't mind game usually. I'm quite happy to eat Bambi. A little bit of venison, lovely. And rabbit stew, lovely. I just can't get on with pheasants. I find them too gamey. I don't know if it's how I cooked it or if it hadn't hung for long enough, but it was very chewy. So it could be just I prepared it wrong, or maybe they hadn't hung the pheasant and I was supposed to do that, but it didn't come with instructions. I'm usually pretty good at cooking things, and I was not impressed with the pheasant. Oh, pheasant sanctuary. No. Gerald is welcome. He doesn't eat the plants, but they've eaten my lupins. I'm not very happy about it. I'm proud of you. Somebody hasn't bought a single dahlia this year. Catching up with the chat. Oh, there we go. Keep an eye out for the National Allotment Society magazine. You have an article. So anybody who gets the National Allotment Society magazine, Steve has an article in there. That'll be interesting. Do you have to be a member of the National Allotment Society in order to get that magazine, or is it on subscription? Or can you get it at a good news agent? Let us know, Steve. Pop it in the comments. Um, stay strong, don't give in. Nettle tea, stick to tribute. Good for you. That's not an option for me though, Pete. 10 days to go. And my diet's going to be quite repetitive, I think. And Rob also. Rob is also drinking tribute. Yes. I was going to get to this, but Jay has very kindly already put it into the chat. So this Sunday at 7 p.m. in the UK, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you are listening in the States, I'm going to be the featured guest on The Urban Gardener, and there will be a link to follow. There we go. I love the taste of pheasant. I don't like rabbit or squirrel. I've never tried squirrel. Okay. Well, Jason, you must cook it differently to me. I found it just a little bit, because people think it's odd that I eat venison. They think it's quite gamey, but I found the pheasant, or maybe the one I had was just off. I don't know. I tried it once. I did not really. Yeah, squirrel Jason. There was an April Fool's once where there was this big documentary about somebody that was making squirrel pies, and it was like an entrepreneurial countryside business, but it wasn't April Fool's. But I was like, oh, why don't we eat squirrel? But no, I never have. And it's not long before Rob is coming down to Cornwall, so I'm looking forward to Rob and his lovely wife Jean coming to visit Muddy Puddles farm. And this time we won't sit and eat bacon sandwiches and cake for so long. Maybe we'll do some filming. And there is the link for that show. Now, I don't know about eating squirrels, folks, but I do know that in Cornwall, the Romany gypsies, if there were a dead hedgehog on the road, would, in fact, even if there weren't a dead hedgehog, if they found a hedgehog, they would cook and eat it. And the traditional way to do that is to pack it with the clay soil and then roast it and then crack that clay off, and it takes the prickles and skin off, and then eat the meat. Don't fancy it myself, but that is a big part of the Romany gypsy culture in this part of the world. There we go. So Shawnee has made a roasted butternut squash with garam masala spices and a pan of quinoa, then shredded potatoes in a mini meatloaf, started a new batch of fermented peppers. You have been busy. Is that for dinner tonight, or is that something that will go in the freezer for later? Or well, the fermented peppers will be for later. That sounds delicious. You're making me hungry. Oh. That is going to be a real thing for me. I use a lot of spices, particularly Asian spices. And that for me is going to be difficult. I'm just going to go big on onion and garlic and hope that gets me through. Yes, South America. A guinea pig is a standard meat there. I've not had it. I've not been to South America. I think people would frown on it here. Oh, I just scrolled through all the chat there, missed it all. Right, I'm going to finish up the chat. I am going to make it a much shorter session today. And then I will say goodbye. I am on again. Let's have a look. Jay's looked up the allotment magazine is for members, so if you're a member, look out for that. Jason is a Guinness fan. Yes, I agree, Jenny. Shawnee's recipe sounds delicious. Rob finds pheasant very rich. I'm scrolling through very quickly here. If they give you a glass to put the bones in. Oh, lovely. Hi, Elaine. Nice to see you here. Oh, what happened there? Jason's saying, I think rodents don't taste very good. Guinea pigs are a big thing in Peru. They are. They eat llama and alpaca meat, don't they, as well? And I'm not sure. I think you can get that here. I've never tried that either. There we go. Taste of nothing. At least you didn't say, oh, it tastes like chicken. That's usually the there we go. I don't know, but I'll take it, Jenny. I don't know what the thanks is for. I'm sure there's something. There we go. Put the skeleton back together of a rabbit. Never go as rabbit again. Yeah, I can imagine that would freak somebody out. Right, I'm at the end of the chat now. So there we are. So that's kind of a little update from me and how things are going. I am going to sign off now. What I will say is, there we go. Please remember to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. And thank you all very much for being here. It's been brilliant again, a fantastic community. I also would like to remind you, I am live on Sunday at 7 p.m. on the Urban Gardeners channel as a featured guest with Jay Dixon as the guest host. And I'm back live again next week at the usual time of 8 p.m. And we're going to take a look forward at spring, and that'll be great. So thank you ever so much, everybody, for coming up. And don't forget to check out each other's channels as well. That everybody, I think, in the chat that I've seen has a channel. We're all interested in the same things, in gardening and education and learning about growing things. Everybody has their specialist passion. Jason with his chilies, and Pete with his onions, among other things, not just onions. Rob generally with everything that he can do in an attic. Kirsty is very much a make and do person. Shawnee Grows is absolutely fantastic at the live stream, and I watch her regularly because I like to hopefully emulate a little bit of what she does, although I need a lot more practice before we're there. And then lots of allotmenteers, Sean the gardeners, an allotmenteer, Steve's allotment northeast, Stella has an allotment, Jenny has an allotment. So there's lots of content there. Whatever you enjoy or into, there is something there for you. And with that, I'm going to say thank you very much and good night. Take care.